What is going on, guys? Freaking Trades here, bringing you another no weekly stock watch list. Before we get started, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. Let's go ahead and dive into the watch list. So, earnings this week, zero things going on. I got zero stocks that I'm looking at, so we are pretty clear on this front right here. Now the important part, now that there really isn't anything to talk about for earnings, ES and NQ, we have finally broken out of the major range since our last Sunday stock watch list. And we are nosediving right now. Now, I didn't want to chart too far out just because you guys have seen anything can happen over the weekend and overnight. So I try to keep things really simple and really just easy. So for the meantime, I'm sticking to, for ES, really simple. It's really easy levels as of right now. If you're in the Stock Hours Discord, you guys know that we like to go more in depth in the morning of pre-market. So for the meantime, I'm looking at anything with a close below 6,400 and then 6,360 as our next level. Now, no trend lines either, nothing to really worry about there. Now, the other thing to note here is on NQ, kind of the same idea here, 23,200. We haven't closed below there in a while, so I will be looking at that. And then after that, the big level will be 23,000 with room down to 22,800 as our next support level here. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Now, as far as our main watch list, we have a couple things to keep an eye out for. Meta has been ahead of the market this entire time, and it is still nosediving till this point. So for the meantime, I doubt that this level will actually hold up because it closed right at 520. But 520 will be the area that I'm looking at for Meta going into tomorrow. If that breaks, hopefully then it doesn't start the gap. We have a gap that starts at 516.50 that ends at 507 here. And if that ends up breaking and gapping down, then the last level I have on this will be trading it at 500 as a psychological / key level there. So pretty straightforward. It's just let's just hope that doesn't break on us right there. Next up is MU. Now, if I go to MU here on the daily chart, you can see that this is finally breaking down, especially with the recent news around Google with this. This could be pretty important with a lot of the chip stocks starting to come down now and starting to be more at a actual stable price rather than everything fluctuated and just super priced because of RAM shortage. So RAM shortage and just chip shortage in general. So for the meantime, looking at 350 here on MU, if I put this on the 1 hour so you guys can see this a little bit more clear, that is what I am watching. We broke 350 pre-market, but we actually never tested it during market hours. So that is why I'm watching 350 and 345 because that was the pre-market low from Friday. So just a continuation of the weakness with chip markets as a general basis there. Next up is NVIDIA here. NVIDIA is a little weird. You guys can see a lot of these are on the daily time frame, but NVIDIA, I do like this at 165. The thing with NVIDIA, it is slightly ahead. I mean, granted, it's been falling with the market, so it's hard to say. But since NVIDIA has so much weight in the market in general, just because it's one of the biggest caps, the biggest cap stock still, I believe. It still overtakes Apple and Microsoft. It is still one of the bigger cap stocks, and it has a lot of weight on the market, especially when this falls. You can expect most of the market to follow along with it. So for the meantime, I'm watching 165. Hopefully this gets ahead of the market and has weakness, and that's the only way that I would look to trade NVIDIA is if this is ahead, just because when NVIDIA is ahead, it can drag the market down. If the market's getting dragged down, it only adds more benefit to NVIDIA because it just gives it more of a weaker sentiment. So that's the reason why I'm looking at 165 on Tesla. Or on NVIDIA, my bad. And then last but not least is Tesla. Now with Tesla, we broke the 360 level by a couple cents, I believe by like 40, 50 cents. So going into tomorrow or in the week, I will be looking at 360 for a retest going into 359 there. And then after that, I have room down to 357 where I would look to take another scalp on this if this is weak and ahead of the market. Now with Tesla being a really divergent stock, it is really easy to take advantage of how this stock moves. So but yeah, that is about it for the watch list. Really quick and easy, just really straight, easy levels, no overcomplication there. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the watch list. Before you go, though, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it. With that being said, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have a fantastic week. Take care. Peace.